Hey Fixsters, and welcome to this very important video with the topic Python email newsletters. So why is it important? Basically a Python newsletter is a Python email list is an institution where the sender sends you important Python information like Python updates, Python code snippets, Python tricks, Python puzzles, even cheat sheets and Python content on a regular basis. And I find it a much more valuable way of learning Python than the other ways, basically. So why? So of course there are many like online courses and academies like Udemy or Code Academy or even Thinkster, my own website. So we have a lot of those instances. But what you have to do, like here is the user has to go there basically on a regular basis. So he or she has to initiate the Python learning experience, which means that he has to go there, learn there for an hour, maybe take an hour of his or her time, and learn Python, and then he goes back. And he doesn't, and there's no, like, it doesn't make sense to do this once. He or she has to do it on a regular basis. Okay, so he has to do this again and again and again. And this is like, in theory it works great. Of course, there are here world-class teachers who teach the subjects in a very educational way, and it's very effective teaching, but you have to go there again and again and again. And this is like where most people get stuck. Basically, it's not easy to do something like learning which requires to overcome a certain barrier. And also learning like this competes with big, like the big barrier, for example, here is Netflix. Okay, just write Netflix. So you have to do this, but you could also do Netflix. So there's always this competition going on. Yeah. So many people will just watch Netflix rather than watch Udemy, even if they actually want to do this and they plan to watch to learn and to improve on their skills, and on theory they find it, they see themselves as the person who actually does it. In practice, most people cannot do it because they are too exhausted after working the whole day. In the evening they are too exhausted to go to Udemy and Code Academy and Thinkster, go there proactively and solve Python puzzles and actively participate in the learning. But people who are not doing this basically get lost over time. So their skill degrades over time, and their value to the marketplace degrades as well. So it's like a very ineffective way to learn, basically. Yeah. Why? Because this learning, there's just a huge decoupling from these learning institutions to the users. Okay, to you, basically. Yeah. So there's like this huge space which they have to create a bridge, and the newsletter basically does it for them. Why? Because the newsletter is also one of those instances, but it is pushed directly to the user. So it's not a pull-based method where the user has to pull content from these platforms. It's a push-based method. So the user decides one time, on one day, he or she decides to go on this newsletter, and then they receive regular content, you receive regular content on a daily basis or weekly basis, and then you can just reactively learn. So which is like you decide for your future self once, and then the habit is already in place, and you will continuously improve over time by receiving and reading these newsletters. So it's like the barrier of learning is much reduced, and therefore newsletters are such a very good idea. And this is also the idea of like my Thinkster newsletter, which is the most rapidly growing newsletter, I guess, in the Python space. So the idea is to have different email courses, like about different topics. I create videos usually about each topic, and then we have, like, for example, one email sequence about the NumPy topic, and one email sequence about basics of Python. Then we have like one email sequence about the basics of Python sets, for example, and so on. Okay, so we have many different courses, like another course about Python freelancing, and we have many of those email sequences. And now the user just receives one overview email per 14 days or so. So you receive this overview email, then you click a link in this email, and then you will receive the whole sequence. Okay, on a daily basis, basically. Yeah. So therefore, you will continuously improve your skills. You just read the emails. You do nothing, nothing but passively consume the email content, and your skills will improve over time. So this is the idea of the Pfingster Email Academy, and it's the basic. Like I started Pfingster Computer Science Academy at the intersection of computer science, coding, productivity, and business. Okay, so it's about practical code projects. Yeah, with impact in the real world. So this is like the focus on the Email Academy. And of course, you need to have some coding skills, like some computer science skills, and also some business skills or practical skills like communication skills and presenting skills and so on. So okay, so you have a like wide variety of topics, and you will passively consume them and improve over time. So this is like a huge benefit in a practical setting compared to this big brands who just like offer their content on a pull basis, because users have to pull the content from the platform. Usually the content is very like indigestible, so it's like huge blocks of contents you have to take 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and these emails are usually lean and mean and short, very concise topics, and you have many of them, you have a sequence of them. So I would say a person who is just passively consuming these emails compared to a person who tries to visit those web pages on a regular basis and pull the content from these pages, I think the first person will outsmart the second person every time, because I mean, there's just no such thing that can compete with continuous improvement. Okay, so continuous improvement over time is just an exponential curve that will explode at one day. And if you like, for most people who have not the willpower to in the evening watch Udemy instead of Netflix, those people will just lose against the person who is just like in small doses improves his or her skills over time. Okay, so check out my Python Pfingster Computer Science Academy. It's 100% email and it's free. So yeah, see you in a moment. Bye.